Hi, good evening. This is John Hawkins Jr. with Gateway Counseling Center. This is our Tuesday night Facebook Live at 8:15. We do every Tuesday night, right on time this week. I'm proud of myself. I am John Hawkins Jr. I am a peak performance coach, licensed psychotherapist. I specialize in working with trauma, addiction, couples therapy. We are a counseling center here in Boynton Beach, Florida. We do individual, couple, family therapy for mental health, emotional, relational issues, spiritual issues, as well, performance coaching, all that kind of stuff. How's it going, Lance? How are you? It's been a long time. So we do this every week, a Tuesday night, where I answer any questions that come in throughout the week. You can reach me at johnh@gatewaycounseling.com. I can also answer questions on the live that you can ask me or respond to. So we want to, have a big mission here. We've been here for probably 12 years now, I think. Trying to impact as many people as we can, in every way we can, helping everyone. So over the years, I really found clients would come in after years and decades sometimes, especially in relation to my trauma work, who've been in therapy all this time and they never even heard the information I gave them in the first 10 minutes, which I was like shocked as a new therapist that no one has ever told you this. I thought these were like some basic questions I was asking. So just getting the correct information out there, as somebody who's been doing this for a while now, we've worked with thousands of clients at this point. One thing I can tell you is navigating the mental health system is a nightmare. It is a disaster at times. There's a lot of good people who are talented, heart's in the right place, but the system as a whole needs a lot of reform and revamping. If you've been looking to get help in the mental health system for years, you will validate what I'm saying. Every week I get like horrific stories from clients put on wrong medications, cross interactions. I'm working with someone right now who had a horrible experience on cross interactions with medications that, the psychiatrist or physician should have known better. So just kind of stuff like that, educating people. I mean, I can tell you story after story of some of these kind of things, but, in relation to trauma, so one of the things I want to talk to you about tonight is something that therapy is so focused on. I tell people basically I have two things that I do. That's I help people with their emotions, how to manage their emotions, use them more effectively, and I help them with how they connect and relate with other people. And that's it. That's my whole gig. I don't do anything else except those two things. And so another lack of information that I have found is around emotions. When I spent years working in treatment centers, everybody would talk to clients about the importance of emotions, but nobody really explains in depth what emotions are, why they're meaningful, why they matter, how you use them, what the purpose of them is. And so I need a motivator for why I would want to feel a painful or uncomfortable feeling. I need to see the value in it. Some of these things are very simple when you explain them, but just people never hear them. So tonight I'm going to explain what emotions are, why they're important, and how they are the number one resource for living the most impactful, meaningful, fulfilling life possible. So people are always coming to me asking me for tools. I need tools. And so I'm telling them emotions are the tool. So if you want to learn the tools, let me help you learn how to use your emotions. So emotions are evolutionary, wired in over long periods of time to help us adapt to our environment, to survive, to get our lower level and higher level needs met. And so their energy, so we put words on them in English like fear, anger, sadness, joy, excitement, but they're energy that give us rapid information about what's going on in the environment. And then they give us energy to do something with that information. So one of the easiest ones is, I'll talk to guys sometimes who, they're kind of dismissive of emotions. And I say, well, if I reached over there right now and grabbed you by the throat, you would probably want to punch me in the face, right? So you were very into emotions. You're just not into some emotion. So you're into the emotion called anger because that energy would say my physical boundaries are being threatened and I want to punch John in the face and get him off of me, right? So that's the adaptive purpose, is to set boundaries, protect myself, push through fear, obstacles to goals, like this healthy drive that I want to accomplish something. So it has a value to it, right? And something like grief or sadness. Let's say if I grow up and, I feel lonely, which then triggers sadness, it gives me information that I'm missing connection. I desire connection. So then this uncomfortable feeling comes over me that drives me to seek connection. I get connection. that feeling goes away. So it served its purpose, like gas in the tank of a car. But let's say no one helps me learn how to do that. No one explains to me how to use this sadness, what it means, how to use it to get connection. So I discover as an 8, 10, 14-year-old that, oh, I can eat, I can masturbate, I can smoke pot, I can, watch days of Netflix, and that feeling goes away. That's the uncomfortable sadness goes away. But then guess what? I don't get connection. I don't get what I needed. And then often I have, shame around the way I take that feeling away. So I binge eat, I'm embarrassed about that, I hide, I watch pornography, I hide that, right? So it increases more feelings that cause me to need to escape those feelings, right? So we develop these emotional defenses. So let's say going back to men, so that, we got acculturated that it was weak for us to have softer feelings, it's shameful, it makes us a wuss, whatever it may be, right? So then let's say sadness comes out for us and we just get angry. And so when we're using anger as a defense against our sadness. And so then what happens is these secondary emotions or these compulsive behaviors, all they do is block or numb the feeling, but we don't get to use the feeling as a resource to then get what we need, or manage the situation most effectively. So if I'm sad because I'm grieving or there's some kind of loss, I need to feel that sadness. Like in the example of grief. So for me, it is constant challenge trying to balance, work, career, the people I love in my life, and you get stuck. And let's say all of a sudden somebody you love dies. Really quick, that gives you rapid information about what's important and what's not. And half that stuff I had my head up my butt about, I don't even care about anymore. I just lost somebody that was extremely important to me. But guess what? There's other people in my life that are really important. So that pain of that loss shifts my focus to focus on the things that are most important. I don't do that because I get the concept of it, because I knew that before, but I was still chasing my self-worth and accomplishment and achievement and all this other stuff, neglecting the person or the people that matter most to me until I lost them. Now I don't even care about that. I'm just like, I've missed out on this opportunity to spend precious time with people that I have finite time with, instead of pursuing this to make me more worthy with my work and achievement. So that grief shifts me and redirects my life to spend time with the things that are most meaningful to me and move away from the things that aren't. So that's a few examples of why emotions are important or how we're using them as a guide, right? So let's say you don't know, you're looking for what's the thing I want to do for a meaningful pursuit or career in my life, and I'm helping you explore that, and all of a sudden you start to get around certain topics or issues and you light up, right? Excitement, passion comes up, you're like, oh man, I just get so fired up thinking, it's giving you feedback, man, that is really authentic to me, that's what really fills me. So, and it gives you the energy to then go pursue that, right? So without emotions, you're not alive. It's like watching TV in black and white. But because emotions were overwhelming for us at some point, or we didn't get what we needed to learn how to use them effectively, we had to develop all these emotional defenses. So when I was working in treatment, the biggest defense people walk in are drugs and alcohol, or sex addiction, or gambling addiction, all this kind of stuff, right? That's how they're dealing with, if I feel this, do this, right? So it's like this learning that with enough repetition just becomes automatic. Other people maybe don't have addictions, but you're using emotional defenses. So let's say somebody's a job they hate, and I don't know that, but they come in, they tell me they're depressed, they don't know why, they have no reason to be depressed, and I'm thinking, of course you do, or you wouldn't be, right? So I just started asking questions, and then I hear two stories when they're explaining stuff to me. They bring up some story about work and their supervisor being really disrespectful or condescending to them. And the first time they talk about it, they beat themselves up. I'm so stupid. I should have known better. He's asked me to do that before. The second time, they make, he's going through a divorce. I know he's just got a lot on his plate right now. So I point that out. I say, the first time you talk about the supervisor being so shaming and condescending and disrespectful to you, the first time you beat yourself up, the second time you make excuses for him. Are you aware that you do that? So they're blocking their anger. There should be some healthy anger coming up to confront that and say, wait a minute, you're not going to talk to me that way. I'm not going to tolerate that. I come in here and I work hard, and I'm not going to be treated that way. and either fear of losing my job, or maybe as a kid I had to block my anger. So without that energy that we call anger, I can't be assertive, stand up for myself, confront in a healthy way, not overly aggressive, but to stand up and confront that. Even the fear that I would get fired if I confronted the person, and people would say, well, what if they, tell me to go, screw off or whatever, John? Then you use that anger to push through your fear and find a healthier work environment. I'm not saying you gotta like flip out that day and walk out the door, as good as that may feel, but it's gonna push me through the fear to like value myself and drive to get there. So I hope that gives you some understanding of why emotions important, what they are, their energy, their chemical, electrical reactions in your body. So everybody comes in here, they're talking heads, and I ask them what they feel, they tell me what they think. Or I say, where do you notice that internally in your body? Well, it's in my head. So I got to get them back into their body. Like they may say, I don't notice anything. I'm like, well, your arms are moving all over the place. There's energy there. What's going on inside of there, right? So they are the thing. Once you tap into your emotions, like my clients are just constantly like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. Like I never knew like this whole world existed. They've been getting a dime on a dollar. So emotions are everything. They're the spice of life. They're your resource for living life. They tell you things about yourself, others, share, communicate that with others. Their energy to harness and channel to pursue your dreams, your goals, the connection you want, the closeness with others. And when you're blocked from that, you're blocked from your best internal resources, your true self, others, connecting, relating them deeply into who you are, connecting with who they are. So when we have to develop these emotional defenses, we pay a big price tag, and there's a big loss over the long term. They were good when we did them, necessary, but now we're chronically stuck in them. So my work as a therapist is to help people identify how they block their emotions, why they had to do that, release those defenses, and get connected and start living a totally different life. So I hope that was helpful to you. If you believe it was, and anyone could benefit, share it with them, move it, however you do, whatever platform you use. We'll be up on Instagram at Gateway Center. This will go up on our YouTube channel, Gateway Counseling Center, and obviously we're on Facebook at Gateway Counseling Center. Like you said, emotions are the key to everything, but nobody really explains them that much, has been my experience. So I hope you got like a good sample of what I'm talking about. If you'd like to ask me more about that, email me at johnh@gatewaycounseling.com. I'll talk, answer any additional questions you have on emotions, or if you want to schedule an appointment, just go to gatewaycounseling.com and you can request a session, and we'll meet with you and hopefully get into some of that kind of work with you. Well, have a great week. I hope everybody is doing well, safe, healthy. A lot of gratitude that we're still here. We're in session, in office. We're doing Zooms, FaceTimes, Skypes, all those things, but we are still here, regular hours, been here throughout the whole pandemic, seeing clients, we're responsible, we're disinfecting, all that kind of stuff. But if you're missing contact and you really like to sit down face-to-face with somebody, we're here. Or you can, schedule an online session. We can do that with you as well. So I'll see you guys next week, Tuesday night, 8:15, we're here. And have a great week, and good night.